Welcome back to the channel, guys. And well, yes guys, the proper McLaren F1 has ascended to a whole other plane as it has gone on to clock a new world record where it of course set a new benchmark for clocking the highest selling price for an F1, where just under 2 weeks ago at the Abu Dhabi RM Sotheby's auction, a 1 of 8 McLaren F1 HDK, not a basic stock F1 but a 1 of 8 high downforce kit proper F1 spec on its own, went on to sell for just over $25.3 million and take a new world record for the F1 as the most expensive F1 to ever sell. Of course, starting off with the fact that this was actually indeed originally a proper Brunei royal family car specced out in a shade of yellow with black Alcantara and leather as the option for the interior. It of course had a decent run in through there, but when moved on to a new owner where of course it was actually driven quite a bit, who of course went on to properly get this converted from the stock F1 to the F1 HDK, the high downforce kit on its own, which is quite a rare proper occurrence, especially on the likes of an F1. As I said, it's one of only 8, and at the time of cataloging, of course when it was converted in 2007, it was the last of the HDKs to be converted, of course. But of course that is not only the story. It went on to get quite a lot of other refurbishments, such as of course a GTR derived front bumper and splitter, LM specification louvers over the front fenders, a fixed GTR style wing which of course replaced the active wing, a completely upgraded exhaust system, and of course 5-spoke racing wheels built by OZ Racing, of course similar to the proper GTR style racing wheels on its own. But the complete refurbishments didn't end there, because it extended even more so into the interior, where of course it got a completely revised air conditioning system equipped, of course with a proper LM specification interior also put in, i.e. carbon fiber has been thrown into every single small nook and corner where it can be thrown, and it looks absolutely beautiful to the eyes. But of course that doesn't end there. It also got a couple updated headlamps as well. But if you think just the fact that it got a complete HDK conversion was the end of the complete eclectic past, you'd be wrong, because the conversion on its own costed over $500,000 on its own. Well, seeing as to the fact that it was only 1 of 8, and for the fact that it was done in 2007, well, that on its own shows that, of course, it being an F1 should answer all your questions. But of course, that's not the proper eclectic part of the past. If the proper fact that the Brunei royal family originally owned it didn't blow your socks off, this will, because it's not been signed by one but by 2 F1 legends on their own, i.e. the 2 only 7-time world champions, i.e. Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton themselves. And I mean, that should just blow this value out the water. And of course it did, where it sold for the complete full price, including the taxes and the complete fees, at just over $25.3 million. And to the fact that F1s in their own in recent days are going up in terms of value, where Australia's one and only F1, and mind you, this is a stock F1, not an HDK or a GTR of sorts, just a clean silver F1, sold for 36 million Australian dollars, which converts to just over 23 million USD. And of course that was the world record until this F1 HDK came along and set the new world record at just over $25.3 million on its own. I mean, with this being one of the most legendary and iconic supers of all time, if you ask me, it is the grandfather of hypers, because it showed what could be done 3 decades ago, and it still holds that record, mind you, as the fastest naturally aspirated car to ever go 240 miles an hour. And for the fact that we've had 3 decades of technology leaps and no other NA car has come close to that, I mean, that on its own should prove to you that the F1 is no slouch, but an icon etched and forever etched into the books of automotive history. And of course it comes equipped with the typical BMW S70/2 V12, i.e. the 6.1 liter naturally aspirated V12, of course with gold as its heat shielding, which of course back then was pretty much the best catalyst to properly circumvent heat. And of course with the fact that this chucks out 627 brake horsepower to the rear wheels, and I mean with the fact that it's been redone in this beautiful ibis white paint shade in 2007 along with the HDK conversion, well, this on its own goes to show that the F1 is just going to keep on going up and up in terms of the price. And well, what do you guys think about this, the all new $25.3 million F1 HDK? Comment below. And well, thanks for watching guys. Remember to that sub button and click the bell to ensure you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks for watching guys. See ya.